as in other defense capability areas, we need both immediate efforts and long-term development of our capabilities. Recent incidents show that there is a need to analyze jointly our concrete next steps. Today was a valuable starting point to achieve concrete results, as we explored possible avenues for cooperation. As we look into next steps on these initiatives, it is clear that there should be a broad range of capabilities. Detection, counter-drone, and command and control capabilities are all important. There must be a comprehensive approach towards these drone threats. Secondly, we discussed how to build Europe's defense and the work we have ahead of us this fall. We support a concrete plan for ramping up Europe's defense. We need results quite fast. This work should be coordinated closely with NATO, and we are on the right track with that cooperation now. We need to step up as Europeans to take more responsibility on our own defense. Member states need to turn their defense budget commitments into concrete capabilities quite fast. The NATO Hague Summit was a major step in this regard, but now we need clear and concrete implementation. I would underline also that the importance of meeting our joint targets across the whole Union. For this, there should be a clear process for the defense ministers to guide the work also.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Minister of Defense. And now we have time for questions. Please introduce yourself and your media. And first question here.
Yleisradio, Finnish Broadcasting Corporation, to start with, about the technology, could you elaborate what type of capabilities are mostly needed? Are we talking about lightweight equipment? It seems a bit pricey way to shoot down drones with fighter planes.
Well, thanks a lot for a very good question. And definitely when we are comparing how Ukrainians are fighting against drone intrusions, and what capabilities we have, we can very clearly say that we need to, to develop additional capabilities which we perhaps at the moment lack. And first of all, I would call detection capabilities, because our systems till now perhaps are good to detect air fighters, to detect missiles, but when drones, small drones are coming very low, we need to have radars, we need to have acoustic sensors, whatever, all the different technological equipment which again, Ukraine has good experience what really is working in the most effective way. There are things which we can which are produced by different producers, both in Europe but also outside of Europe. And I think that this capability should be our first priority, really to establish network of detectors. All the different experts know what kind of detectors we need, where they need to be placed, and of course we need also that those detectors should be in our systems of surveillance should be integrated, that we could see what is coming maybe in our neighboring countries of this frontier countries. So, but detection is crucial. Second, definitely we need to look into effective means how to destroy radars if they are entering our airspace. And here are several things. Of course, first of all, electronic warfare means, what the Ukrainians are using very much, how to jam those drones which are coming into our airspace. There are, again, capabilities which we need simply to acquire, to procure, and to start to employ them. Second, what now we can see in battlefields of Ukraine, drone interceptors are becoming very, very effective. Those capabilities are also growing very rapidly, and we need to look also how we can build those capacities in our defense lines. And the last point at the moment is what we can call, traditional classical artillery, Zenit artillery, whatever, machine guns, on mobile groups, which, again, Ukrainians are using them in a very effective way, and that's what we can use. Next, of course, the countries which have some kind of capabilities on air, helicopters or air fighters, they can be used. But again, the question is the price of, if you are using air and air missile from your air fighter to shoot the drones, then you are using maybe a missile which costs 1 million to kill the drone which costs 10,000. That's what of course needs to be always decided on spot. The last point is we need to be also very much looking into the future, because we can hear publicly announcements that some countries and some industries are starting to find totally new instruments, like, for example, lasers, to fight against drones. So if that technology will come, definitely we need also to be ready to use.
Well, just shortly, there's a lot of equipment in the market now, so we just have to kind of assess what kind of equipment we are doing, and are we doing some joint procurements. And of course, like I said, it's a comprehensive system. It's a multi-layered air defense system where you have to kind of at the same time take care of ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and countering drones. You need sensors, radars, and command and control structures. So it's not an easy only one component, and every country has kind of a different, little bit different system. For example, Finland has a really different system compared to some other countries. So that's why we have also our kind of own proposals in this project.
How much can we use Ukrainian know-how?
Of course, they are key players here. They have the best knowledge in Europe.
Bloomberg and then Reuters.
Kirsi Heikkilä from Bloomberg News. Commissioner, you said that we will build a comprehensive EU financial toolbox to make this shield a reality. Could you tell us more about that? Will there be a specific funding for the drone wall or for this new system you discussed?
Well, it will need to be decided by leaders of the countries, by UK, At the moment, we perhaps need to look how to use those instruments which are available, like safe loans. That demand quite, rapid agreement on, if we are looking for some kind of joint procurement. So we need to do that very quickly, because end of November is the last date when member states need to present their investment plans or joint investment plans. So that is one possibility. Next, what we need also to see, and we were talking about that, so-called EDIP program, European Defence Industry Program, regulation on that is coming. The last stages, I hope that concluding stages of trialogue negotiations are going on. Perhaps at the beginning of October, we hope that we shall finish then. EDIP really is bringing, first of all, new industrial policy instruments, like so-called European Defence Projects of Common Interest, DPCI, which would really allows, some kind of such regional projects to become really a project of common European interest, and that creates, some new possibilities. And also, very important is in EDIP also totally new legal idea, legal proposal, so-called SIAP, which difficult to even to remember all the words in structure of European armament program. SIAP, yeah, that's But it allows to create again some kind of legal basis for member states who want to join into some kind of regional project, collective project, and that legal basis then allows to have some very important benefits. For example, to have much more effective procurement system. That's what is important if we want, very rapidly to develop needed projects which will require procurements. It will allow also to have some benefits with exemption from VAT taxes and so on. Those are some possibilities which are coming with EDIP, but EDIP also is coming with new budget line, not very big at the moment, 1.5 billion. we're still negotiating, and the Parliament, the European Parliament, is very strong, demand to have more financial resources in this program. We shall see how it will go. But definitely in UCO, I think that also the questions can be raised about possibility to find some kind of new financial instruments, but that now should be decided at that level.
Yeah. Well, nothing to add.
Okay. Then Reuters and there.
Thank you. Anna Kalman from Reuters News. I would like to ask Commissioner whether there is any concrete timeline for this project.
Timeline is one, which I can announce. We agreed that ministers will delegate what we call Sherpas for this project, and we want to have very soon meeting really of Sherpas where we will start to develop more concrete roadmap on all the development of the project. My intuitive thought is that really, as Minister said, there are different options, different national developments. We need to see what is at the moment, what is the most urgent priority. Since again, that can be a little bit different from different countries, but what I see, for example, Baltic states, Poland, and especially those provocations with the drones, recent ones, I see as a priority really, first of all, to have effective detection system. Effective detection system, because that, from my point of view, is lacking at the moment. And if we shall not see, who is flying in, then definitely, everything else will not be working. Some experts are saying that substantial part of the whole project of drone wall can be developed during 1 year period. I am not sure if that's very precise. We shall work with our experts to look into what is really needed and how quickly we can do, especially learning again from Ukraine and learning not only about technologies but what is very important in my view, what Ukrainians are bringing. What sometimes we are forgetting is the whole ecosystem around. Because what Ukrainians have, really, it's a very unique interconnection in between of producers of systems like drones or anti-drones, operators, for online data, engineers, innovators, digital guys who are, making very, very, effective statistics, and from that you can make, conclusions. Is your equipment working or not? Because Russians are also good in developing new systems, and then they can jam your drones, and so on and so on. So this is this ecosystem which would allow you to be permanently able to innovate and to be ready to defend yourself against whatever is coming. That, in my view, is something unique, which even it's not very clear how to borrow from Ukrainians that knowledge.
Thomas Savonen, Finnish News Agency. As we all know, Finland has a very long border with Russia, more than 1,300 kilometers. So how do you see this border? How big challenge is it for the drone wall, and would this drone wall cover the whole Finnish-Russian border?
It's if you're asking me. So well, in my view, really, we need to have. We really need to, together with Ukrainians, but we need to understand what kind of system we need to develop to be most effective. Again, we need to recognize that at the moment, our effectiveness to fight drones was not at that level which we need to have. And definitely, Finland has 1,300 kilometers. My country, Lithuania, has around 900 kilometers, if to calculate also the border with Belarus. Mm-hmm. So all of us, we have quite a big distances which we need to find a way how we can be effective, and that is what we shall work on. It's both how to say, it's both technological concepts which are needed and very soon, but also in some way conceptual background. how such a defense should be organized in the best way.
Yeah, and of course, for example, Finnish perspective that we have had a quite strong national defense planning in overall all the domains, land, sea, air, and cyber, and nowadays also space. So how we are approaching this. And together, of course, with the Interior Ministry, because the Interior Ministry's tools to border control and interior domestic civil infra problems are Interior Ministries. But these military threats, we have overall comprehensive planning, for example, to the air defense. So that's why, like I said, we have to take a comprehensive approach also to this drone problem, how to invest heavily in the countering the missile threats, ballistic, cruise missiles, and how to combine this to the drone threat also. We have a very efficient, good integrated system where all these factors has been taken account, and now we are implementing this drone defense overall picture into our good system. So, and it will take, like I said, in my mind, there has three big pillars. The detection, which comes from the surveillance, radars, and all that stuff. Countermeasures for drones, electronic warfare, kinetic, shooting them down with cost-effective way, with new weapon systems. And the last is command structure. You have to have a clear way to lead and kind of command the situation where there's a lot of drones and missiles and all that stuff. So we are not preparing only that there will be some drones. We are preparing the drone defense in the hardest way, what we are seeing in Ukraine also. And we are taking lessons learned from Ukraine, doing the cooperation with Ukrainians. They are maybe the world's best now in the drone defense.
Kubilius, I'm representing the daily newspaper Huvudstadsbladet. I'd like to ask Mr. Kubilius, earlier today, Finland's Prime Minister Petteri Orpo said that he demanded that countries he said that in Southern Europe should show solidarity towards Finland and the other countries that have a border towards Russia in this question. It felt like they're obliged to do so because Finland has funded them in the crisis before. How keen do you think countries like Spain and Portugal are to fund this sort of project on Europe's eastern flank?
Well, we shall see during COCO meeting, but definitely what we can see is that in general awareness about the threats are quite horizontally spread. For example, at least I am making very simple conclusion from what we saw from safe loans distribution. When we announced this safe loans initiative and we adopted regulation, my fear was that there will be quite a limited appetite for the loans. Appetite was bigger than we were expecting. And it appears that, such member states, that not only, let's say, eastern flank member states were taking those loans. Italy, France, Spain were among the biggest countries which asked a big amount of loans, so which means that they also are concerned about defense. And definitely everybody understands that now, the countries of what we call frontier countries are defending not only themselves, but they are defending the whole Europe. And simply, logical is to invest into this defense of Europe, European resources as they are available. The question in which form, how they can be done, that is, of course, for financial people to find the best way. What we need to remember is that really Europe is European Union and member states are, we can forecast quite big amount of money starting to come into defense. I'm always using very simple calculation. Since member states pledged to invest into defense 3.5% before 2035, So if we shall take just next MFF period from 28 to 2035, where we're increasing also, we are proposing to increase MFF funding for defense. But, if we shall look into national defense spending, my forecast is that member states during that period of time will spend in average 3%. Now the average is 2%, some countries are spending 5%, but if to take this, 28, 35, they will spend, if they will spend 3%, it will mean 600 billion per year. And during 7 years period, it will be 4 trillion euros, 4.2 trillion euros. So it's a big amount. Okay, not all the money will be spent on new equipment. Some money is spent for salaries and pensions, but nevertheless, it will be, really several billion euros which will be spent. The question is how we can arrange some kind of, financial mechanism that those money should come earlier than later, because we cannot wait till 2035, and to invest those money only at that period of time. I think that there are possibilities, different possibilities how such a problem can be resolved.
And of course, we think that because Northern Europe was quite solidarity to the Southern Europe during the pandemic, so now it's our turn that the Eastern flank countries and the Northern Europe's countries must also have the solidarity from the Western and Southern Europe. Everyone has some kind of a threats in some year, and now it's our turn.
From Iltalehti. Defense Minister Hakkänen, Prime Minister Orpo hoped that the drone wall would be ready sooner than a year. What is Finland's drone countering capability at the moment? Let's say that Russia sends 70 drones. Will we be able to defend ourselves against them? And what are Finland's biggest needs when it comes to countering drones?
Of course, the Finnish tradition is that we are not saying aloud what kind of weapons or capabilities we have exactly, because we have planned to manage by ourselves, and we have a good defense. We have taken account all the threats, what we have also noticed from the Ukrainian war, but still we know that there's a lot of things to develop and invest heavily. So, but we have a quite good capability to do air surveillance and use also force if it's needed, and we are training that. We have a strong air force and all other capabilities which we can use if some drones or something comes to our airspace. That's no doubt about it. But still we are using our heavy investments in defense to also the drones now. But for example, when I said last week that we are starting this new land domain, land forces reform, it will have about 10 to 15 billion euros, and there's also a part of drones. So we are taking this comprehensive approach to drones in all the sectors.
MTV News. Do you want this drone wall to be in use only in the eastern flank borders, or should there be also protection for critical civil infrastructure, for example, airports and power plants, with this drone wall?
Well, if you look geographically, in each country, definitely there needs to be very concrete plans how that drone wall is metaphoric. It's how to not to allow enemy drones, to hit the targets in your territory. So that will be decided, by member states themselves, with experts, with maybe some also with NATO defense concepts, that will be agreed. Second, when we are talking about eastern flank watch and all those drone capabilities, drone wall, my view is that there can be interest from other countries also to join, because who knows what is coming next in terms of possibilities of provocations, testing, and so on. Perhaps you also you can read now. Some experts are saying that Russians can use, for example, this shadow fleet ships, using this technology that Ukrainians used in faraway Siberia, so-called VEP operation. that on the ship you can have containers, you can come to the coast of the whatever country or whatever port, and then you can send drones, to make, either just provocation, hybrid provocation around airports or around ports or something even more. So that's why I'm saying that, we shall see how that interest in development of those capabilities will appear in other countries, but we need to be ready really that this can be much broader.
Thank you. I think this concludes this press conference, and have a good weekend, everyone.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Minister.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for the visit.
Thanks for hospitality.
All right.
Now, shall we hospitality?